I have a rant. I've got a whole rant about the TFSA. If you want to do that now, we can, or we can come back to that later
Yeah,
if I've triggered something else.
why don't we? Yeah, let's get into that kind of like that tax-free savings account, and even if you have some like tax season tips or things
Sure.
like that, like I'm happy to hear those because I probably even need to hear some of these things.
All right. Here we go. So tax-free savings account, TFSA, RRSP, Registered Retirement Savings Plan, RIF, LIRA, all these things are really just, all these acronyms are really just labels that you stick on an investment that tells the government what its tax status should be. So,
Okay.
Registered Retirement Savings Plan, RRSP, that's a label that you stick on an investment that tells the government this money is for my retirement. Don't tax it until then. And the government says, okay, and they don't bug you about it. TFSA is tax-free savings account, and that's a label that you stick on an investment that tells the government these are the tax-free savings. You said I could do this, so I'm going to grow money in this account, and you can't make me pay taxes on it. And the government says, yeah, that's what we agreed to, so here we
But
go. It drives me nuts, actually, that they called it a tax-free savings account, because when you hear savings account, what do you think?
well, I think that I'm
You think,
saving my money. I think that I'm
okay.
building up my savings account, and then
Yeah.
I'm
So right? So a savings account, when most people think of that, they what they mean is cash in a bank account. And
right.
even though interest rates are rising these days, cash in a bank account over the long term is never going to make you as much money as an actual investment will. A mutual fund, a stock portfolio, ETFs, all those
Yeah,
investing kind of things.
yeah.
TFSAs can hold those kinds of things. And a lot of people don't realize that. So they're not really taking full advantage of the opportunity to grow their money tax free. You don't get a tax break by putting money into a TFSA like you do with the RRSP, but what you get is the ability to grow your money and never have to pay tax on it. That
Mm,
is flipping huge. That's like a 20 or 30% return on the
yeah,
back end of things, right?
yeah.
So to think of your TFSA as just a place to park cash or something you use for, my trip fund or my car fund or even a house down payment fund, yeah, it can be all those things, absolutely. But it can also be something that you use to build your long-term wealth and your long-term savings and be a huge benefit for you down the road. So, and again, when we're talking about people just starting out, younger people, used to be the default was to set up an RSP and start socking money away into that. But
Yep.
now that we have the TFSA, I would I mean, it's not a blanket recommendation for everybody, obviously, and disclaimers all over the place. Your situation may vary, your mileage may vary.
Yeah, yeah.
Your situation is your own, but generally speaking, starting off with a TFSA is a really good step in the right direction for most people.
That's amazing. And I am so appreciative to like hear that kind of recommendation because, I don't know. I'm not in the industry, but I do feel like even the people kind of in my inner circle don't necessarily have those things kind of in place. For me, I was fortunate enough that my dad kind of was like, let's do this for you because you're not going to regret this. So
Hmm.
I I am somebody who does have both TFSA and the RSPs, but it it isn't really something that I feel like too many people take not like advantage of, but yeah, kind of advantage of. And so
Yeah.
I'm happy to kind of hear the breakdown of that it's that label of what the government can do and can't do to the money and things like that. And I think that that's super, super helpful. So thank you.